afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures, and it's your daily midday market minute. We've got the dollar screaming higher, but before I get to it, if you're watching this on YouTube, please click the link below and subscribe. Like and subscribe. If you're watching from our website, there's also a link below to direct you to YouTube, and you can subscribe that way. We'd love you to follow us. We'd love you to help us build our following. The dollar's moving up. It's clearly out above 104 right now. We had a little bit better GDP than expected after this first revision. Core or the PCE for quarter one as well came in at 5% above the 4.9 they were looking for. And prior it was a 4.4. So some of the lagging inflation or some of the backwards looking inflation is a little higher than anticipated. So again, I don't think that had a ton of emphasis on today. The dollar's momentum has been there. On top of that, the jobless claims number, initial jobless claims cycled back down. I think it was right around 225, 229, but it was also last week was revised significantly lower from 244 to 229 or so. And I mean, that's the gist of it. You had this better pocket of data early this morning. And it reinvigorated some of the strength that the dollar carried from yesterday and overnight saw. And that's pressuring commodities. I mean, you're getting continued pressure in the metals, continued pressure from that reversal yesterday in crude oil. But first, with the equities, it's clearly the leader across the board is NVDA. It's the big story of the day, up 25%. Something we've been talking about for weeks, and just how much we like this name, how much we like the space, how much momentum is behind the space. So we're not surprised. I mean, we're really not surprised at all to see this name up 25% here on the day. You got AMD up 10%. You got Synopsys, is a name I talked about on CNBC last week. They do electronic design automation for all the chips, and so when they beat and raised last week, that was a telltale that they had their pulse on the direction that things like NVIDIA was going to be reporting. So you have both those names, AMD and Synopsys, also up about 10%. Driving the NASDAQ. I mean, you got the NASDAQ hitting 14,000, making a new high here today, although the Russell's down 1%. You got the Dow down 150 points, and you got the S&P just sort of, it's up. I mean, up, 0.5%, but it's not getting out above resistance. We have all the resistance levels highlighted on the Morning Express, where that major three-star resistance is in the S&P, where do we need to see the S&P hold, but furthermore, where's the next levels as we break out higher in the NASDAQ, where are those next resistance levels? So all that's laid out in the Morning Express. Go check it out. With crude oil, I think this is just, it really ran into resistance. A lot of the good news became priced in very, very quickly. And then we had a reversal. I mean, the Saudi Aramco or Saudi energy minister spoke on Tuesday, talked about, really talked this market up, stoked the bullish move off 70. Remember, $70 held late last week. Support held late last week. It was starting to turn a little bit, but he lit that fire. And then we had a massive drawdown in inventories yesterday. Just huge. I covered that in today's Morning Express, yesterday's Midday Market Minute, so go check it out. But it almost seems like if everybody's already bought, who's left to buy? There's still a lot of resistance up there. I think there's some fear, too, that there could be a little buy the rumors, sell the news, and, would OPEC Plus deliver another production cut? So I think you're just seeing those expectations come back in a bit, but not to mention the U.S. dollar, the global recession fears, all weighing on things. I mean, there's global recession fears, and the U.S. dollar strength is, look what you're seeing in the Russell and the Dow. I mean, the NASDAQ is a different animal right now, and that's the heartbeat on the global momentum is totally different than what you're seeing in the NASDAQ. Finishing out here, the metals, it's just another disappointing session here, showing some life, after falling out of bed on the news. Gold traded 1940. We started making a rebound, but couldn't get out above the previous lows, 1955. Silver languishing lower, 22.90, now just decisively holding below $23. It had some life too, back to 23.20, and just kind of just died out as the dollar picking some strength back up late in the session. So more of the same here. We'll see what happens heading into the weekend, and could gold get a bid? It's not going to happen unless the dollar starts to reverse. You got 100-day moving average here in gold held in 1940. As well as a lot of support, 1925, 1930. So, again, just disappointing, but, the trend is lower, and as long as the dollar remains higher and yields continue to grind higher too. But our team is always here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out, 312-278-0500. And remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors.